The silent strength of a mother. There is a power in this world that often goes unnoticed, a power that does not shout, does not demand, and does not seek recognition. That power is the silent strength of a mother. Unlike the kind of strength we often admire, muscles, wealth, titles, or fame, the strength of a mother is woven into the unseen details of daily life. It is in the sacrifices she makes when no one is watching. It is in the quiet prayers, whispered at night when her children are asleep. It is in the tears she hides, so her family never feels the weight of her own struggles. This silent strength is not loud, but it is unshakable. It shows itself when a mother rises early to prepare for her children, even when she herself is exhausted. It reveals itself when she chooses patience instead of anger, forgiveness instead of bitterness, and love instead of resentment. She carries burdens silently, often smiling so her children won't feel the weight she bears. To the world, her efforts may look ordinary, but in reality, they are extraordinary. You see, the silent strength of a mother is the foundation upon which families, communities, and even nations are built. Her quiet endurance is what holds homes together. Her unseen sacrifices are what allow her children to flourish. Without her strength, so much would fall apart. Yet because she doesn't always announce her efforts, the world sometimes forgets to notice. But God notices. Heaven sees the strength of a mother and honors it. Just as God works quietly behind the scenes of our lives, mothers too move in silence, shaping destinies without demanding praise. Their power is not in their words alone, but in their consistent, unconditional love. A mother's strength is a reflection of divine love. It never gives up, never loses hope, and never stops believing in her children, no matter how far they may drift. Think about this. Some of the greatest lessons children carry throughout life were never spoken. They were observed. The way a mother endures hardship, the way she smiles through pain, the way she keeps moving forward when others would give up. Those actions become silent sermons written on her children's hearts. Even if they don't appreciate her today, one day, when life tests them, they will remember her example. And in that remembrance, they will find strength of their own. So, if you are a mother listening to this, do not underestimate your silent strength. Just because it isn't always acknowledged doesn't mean it isn't powerful. In fact, its very silence is what makes it so profound. You are shaping lives in ways you may not see right now, but time will reveal the impact of your love. Your silent strength is not just valuable, it is eternal. And that is why, no matter how overlooked you may feel, your value will never fade. A mother's love beyond recognition. There is something profoundly divine about the love of a mother. It is a love that asks for nothing in return. A love that continues to give even when it feels unappreciated. Many mothers live their lives pouring out their energy, their time, their very souls, only to feel invisible in their own homes. Their children may overlook their sacrifices, and society may undervalue their worth. Yet despite the lack of recognition, a mother's love does not fade. It is steady, enduring, and eternal. Why is this love so unshakable? Because it is rooted in something deeper than human desire for applause. It comes from God Himself. The heart of a mother mirrors the heart of the Creator, selfless, patient, forgiving, and unconditional. Just as God loves His children without demanding anything in return, mothers reflect that same divine love in their families. Even when ignored, dismissed, or taken for granted, she keeps giving, because her love isn't dependent on recognition. It is her nature, her calling, her gift. Think about it. A child may forget to say thank you for a meal, but the mother still cooks the next one. A teenager may close the door in anger, but the mother still prays for them at night. An adult may get too busy with life to call, but the mother's heart still longs, still forgives, still loves. This kind of love is not ordinary. It is supernatural. It is a silent testimony of God's presence in human form. And here is the truth. Even when people fail to honor a mother's worth, heaven does not. Every unseen act of love is recorded. Every tear shed in silence is heard. Every prayer whispered into the night reaches God's ears. Your sacrifices are not forgotten, your love is not wasted, and your worth is not lost. The world may overlook you, but the divine never will. This is why a mother's value never fades. Beauty may fade, youth may fade, recognition from others may come and go. But the impact of a mother's love, her faith, her sacrifice, her devotion, echoes into eternity. Children may not fully understand her value until years later, but time has a way of opening their eyes. One day they will look back and realize that the stability of their lives, the strength in their character, the faith in their hearts, all of it was rooted in the love of their mother. So if you feel unseen, if you feel unappreciated, remember this: you are not forgotten. Your love is not wasted. Every seed you plant in silence will one day bear fruit. A mother's worth is not measured by the recognition she receives, but by the lives she touches and the generations she shapes. And that is why, no matter how much the world may overlook you, your love endures. Your value is eternal. The silent strength that shapes generations. Strength is not always loud. It does not always roar or demand attention. Sometimes, the greatest strength is found in silence, in the quiet resilience of a mother who carries the weight of her family without complaint. While the world celebrates achievements that can be seen and applauded, the unseen strength of a mother becomes the foundation on which entire generations stand. A mother's strength is not measured by the noise she makes, but by the sacrifices she endures. It is seen in the long nights of staying awake with a sick child, even when her own body aches for rest. It is seen in the prayers she whispers over her children, words no one else may ever hear, but words that touch heaven itself. It is seen in the way she holds her family together, even when life is tearing her apart. This strength, quiet yet unbreakable, is what shapes the destiny of her children. Generations are not built in a single moment. They are formed through years of influence, values, and love passed down. A mother plants seeds of wisdom in her children through her example. Her patience teaches them kindness. Her endurance teaches them resilience. Her faith teaches them to trust God in all circumstances. Even when her children don't immediately recognize the lessons, those seeds lie buried deep within, waiting for the right time to grow. Think about the world's greatest leaders, thinkers, and visionaries. Behind so many of them stands the influence of a mother, often uncelebrated, often unrecognized, but always present. Her teachings, her sacrifices, her prayers built the foundation that gave them the courage to rise. This is the power of silent strength. It may not make headlines, but it makes history. And yet, many mothers underestimate themselves. They believe that because their work is hidden, it is insignificant. But the truth is, what is unseen often holds the greatest power. The roots of a tree are never visible, yet without them, the tree cannot stand. In the same way, a mother's unseen efforts hold her family upright. She is the anchor in the storm, the quiet force that gives stability when everything else seems uncertain. When you think no one notices your sacrifices, when you feel invisible in your own home, remember this: you are shaping lives in ways you cannot yet see. Your children may not thank you today, but one day they will carry your strength within them. They will face their own challenges, and in those moments, the lessons you instilled will rise within their hearts like a flame. That flame will guide them, and they will finally understand the silent strength you carried all along. This is the eternal legacy of a mother. She may not always receive recognition, but her influence lives on through her children, her grandchildren, and the generations to come. A mother's value does not fade because her silent strength is eternal. God's design for a mother's worth. When God created the role of a mother, He did not design it to be ordinary. He designed it with purpose, with intention, and with eternal value. A mother is not simply someone who brings children into the world. She is a vessel of divine love, a reflection of God's nurturing heart, and a living example of unconditional sacrifice. Her worth is not tied to recognition or praise, but to the eternal impact she makes on the souls entrusted to her care. The world often measures value by wealth, position, or popularity. But heaven's measure is different. God values the unseen acts of service, the quiet sacrifices, and the love that asks for nothing in return. In fact, Jesus himself taught us that the greatest among us are not those who seek to be served, but those who serve others. Who embodies this truth more than a mother? Her entire life is built on giving her time, her energy, her comfort, her wisdom, and even her dreams, so her children can flourish. Yet in the process, many mothers forget their divine worth. They feel invisible, overlooked, or unappreciated. They believe that because no one claps for their efforts, those efforts don't matter. But God sees every tear, every prayer, every sacrifice. Nothing is wasted in his eyes. A mother's value is eternal, not temporary. It does not fade with age, nor is it diminished by children's ingratitude. It is written into the very fabric of God's plan for life. Consider this truth. God chose a mother to bring his own son into the world. Out of all the ways he could have introduced salvation to humanity, he chose the womb of a woman, the nurturing of a mother, and the gentle teaching of a mother's love. This alone should remind every woman of the sacredness of her role. If God entrusted the Savior of the world to the care of a mother, then surely motherhood carries a divine purpose beyond what we often recognize. Your worth as a mother is not based on whether your children say thank you. It is not based on whether others notice your sacrifices. It is not even based on the mistakes you've made along the way. Your worth is anchored in God's design, and nothing can diminish it. Even when you feel unseen, God sees you. Even when you feel unheard, heaven hears you. Even when you feel weary, God is your strength. So hold your head high. You are not just raising children, you are raising souls. You are shaping futures, building legacies, and fulfilling a calling that is sacred in the eyes of God. The world may overlook you, but heaven applauds you. And one day, those seeds you have planted will bear fruit, proving that a mother's worth is never lost, never wasted, and never forgotten. The eternal legacy of a mother. Legacy is not measured in money, possessions, or status. True legacy is measured in the lives you touch, the values you instill, and the love you leave behind. For a mother, her greatest legacy is not written on paper or carved in stone. It is written on the hearts of her children and carried forward through generations. When people speak of legacy, they often think of great leaders, wealthy families, or influential figures. But the truth is, some of the most powerful legacies belong to mothers whose names the world may never know. A mother may not hold public titles, but she holds the most important title of all, the one who shapes souls, builds character, and teaches by example. Her influence extends far beyond her lifetime, echoing into eternity. Think of the small things a mother does daily, teaching her child to pray, encouraging them to be kind, reminding them to never give up. These may seem like simple acts, but they plant seeds that grow into mighty trees of wisdom and strength. Long after a mother's voice is silent, her words echo in her children's hearts. Long after her hands can no longer work, the lessons she taught guide her children through life's storms. Even when children drift away, even when they fail to appreciate their mother, the legacy of her love remains within them. One day, when life humbles them, they will remember her patience. One day, when they face hardship, they will recall her resilience. One day, when they become parents themselves, they will finally understand the depth of her sacrifices. That is the eternal nature of a mother's legacy. It is never wasted, never forgotten, and never erased. Spiritually, a mother's legacy is even greater. When she prays for her children, she is building a shield around them that protects even when they are far away. When she speaks life over them, she is planting blessings that can outlive her. The Bible reminds us that a good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children. This inheritance is not just material wealth, it is faith, values, and wisdom. A mother leaves her children a spiritual inheritance that can never be stolen. Your legacy, as a mother, is not determined by how your children treat you today. It is determined by the foundation you are building in their lives. Even if they don't acknowledge it now, one day they will realize that the person they became is because of you. And even when your time on earth is over, the light you carried will continue to shine through them and through their children. So, do not measure your worth by today's recognition. Measure it by the eternal impact of your love. Because long after the world forgets, heaven remembers. Long after your children outgrow your embrace, they will carry your legacy in their hearts. And that is something time, distance, or ingratitude can never take away. Finding peace in your divine worth. Every mother reaches a moment when she realizes her peace cannot depend on others, not even her own children. Waiting for appreciation or recognition can leave you empty, but your worth is not tied to their acknowledgement. It is eternal, rooted in God's design, and it can never fade. Many mothers live in quiet pain, feeling invisible despite years of sacrifice. But invisibility to people does not mean invisibility to God. Every tear, every prayer, every sleepless night, He has seen it all. Nothing is wasted. God reminds you that motherhood is a divine calling. The love you pour out, the lessons you instill, the sacrifices you make, these are eternal seeds, and seeds take time to bloom. Your peace comes when you shift focus from what others fail to give to what God has already given. The honor of motherhood, the strength to endure, and the gift of shaping lives. You were chosen for this role. And because God chose you, your worth can never be diminished. One day, your children will look back and realize the depth of your sacrifices. They will remember the meals, the comfort, the wisdom, and the love. Even if their gratitude comes late, your peace doesn't have to wait for that day. Your worth was never dependent on their recognition. It has always been secure in God's eyes. So walk forward with peace. You are more than a mother. You are a warrior, a nurturer, and a vessel of God's love. Your sacrifices may go unnoticed by the world, but they are recorded in eternity. You are seen, you are loved, you are valued beyond measure. Your worth will never fade, because a mother's love is eternal, and her legacy never dies. As we come to the close of this message, I want you, dear mother, to pause and truly hear these words. Your value will never fade. The world may forget to applaud you. Your children may sometimes fail to acknowledge you, but heaven has written your sacrifices into eternity. You are not ordinary, and your love is not wasted. Every moment you have poured into your children, whether they recognize it now or not, is shaping the story of their lives. Motherhood is not about instant appreciation. It is about planting seeds of love, wisdom, and resilience that will bloom in their own time. You may not see the fruit of your labor today, but that does not mean it will not grow. Your sacrifices are like hidden roots. They are unseen, but they are what hold the entire tree steady. One day, those roots will prove their strength when your children stand tall and realize that everything they are was built upon your silent strength. And yes, there will be moments when you feel invisible. There will be nights when you wonder if anyone notices the love you give so freely. But I want you to remember this truth. Invisibility is not insignificance. Just because they do not say thank you today, it does not erase the value of what you have done. Your impact is eternal. God Himself has witnessed every act of love, every tear, every prayer. And in His eyes, you are precious, honored, and deeply valued. One day, your children will look back with new eyes. They will recall the meals you prepared when you were tired. They will remember the comfort you gave when they were afraid. They will recognize the wisdom in the lessons you spoke, and they will regret the times they did not show gratitude. But by then, they will also carry your strength within them, and that strength will guide them through their own storms. That is your legacy. That is your eternal gift. So walk forward in peace. Do not mia onskongiki. Sure your worth by the applause of today, but by the eternal impact you are leaving for tomorrow. Your value is not tied to words of appreciation. It is tied to the divine calling God placed on your life. You are a mother, a builder of souls, a nurturer of futures, and a living reflection of unconditional love. Take heart. for your silent strength is not in vain. You are seen, you are loved, you are valued beyond measure. And though the world may not always recognize it, heaven already has. Your worth will never fade, because a mother's love is eternal and her legacy never dies.